You hear that sound? The sound of V8 American sports cars rumbling across the country? Well, that sound is about to get a lot less common than it has been in the past because the V8 muscle car is going away. We've already heard about the death of the V8 Dodge Challenger. It's only got one more year of production left. We've heard rumors that the current Camaro is pretty much the last Camaro. And we've also heard rumors that the next Mustang is also probably going to go the EV route. But not the next Mustang. This is the next Mustang, the 7th generation 2024 Ford Mustang. And it's not an EV, it's not a hybrid. No, the next gen Mustang is still cooking with gas. The styling of the 7th generation Mustang is clearly more evolutionary than revolutionary. It's visually, obviously, a very similar vehicle, but this is the most aerodynamic Mustang that they've ever produced, and it all starts with the front end. You have this low, ridged brow across the front over the familiar tri-bar headlights. You have two different grills for the vehicle, depending on whether or not you've gotten the 4-cylinder or the V8 engine. The V8 also gets this hood scoop on the top here, the vent that helps in cooling that great big engine. Down the side, you'll notice that it is much more slab-sided than it was before. You don't have undercuts underneath, and so it gives it this chiseled, solid look that it didn't have before. The back end looks a little bit wider, but it really isn't. That's kind of a trick that they've been able to accomplish thanks to the tri-bar taillights that you're still very familiar, that are now integrated into the spoiler that is also part of the rear end styling. For 2024, you have a choice of two powertrains. There's an all-new turbocharged 2.3-liter EcoBoost engine mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission driving the rear wheels. The rumors of all-wheel drive haven't come to pass. Or the optional engine is in the GT. That is the Coyote 5-liter V8, and they've been able to preserve the manual transmission. The standard transmission for the V8 is a 6-speed manual. You can get the 10-speed automatic if you really want, though. You can also get performance packs with either the EcoBoost or the GT trims, and that will bring a number of different performance parts to the Mustang to make it a bit more track ready. You've got things like front strut tower brace, you've got bigger wheels and tires, you've got bigger Brembo brakes front and rear. All of that is really there to help you go a lot faster out on the track. Now, as similar as the outside of the 24 Mustang looks to the outgoing model, the interior is completely different. It has been thoroughly redone, and it all centers around those screens that you see there. I have to say, these screens are stunning. You have a 12.3-inch digital instrument cluster in front of the driver, and the gauges in this thing are reconfigurable in ways that we haven't seen before. You could either change them to be modern or classic like you see here. These are actually the gauges from the original Fox body Mustangs from the 1980s and 90s. So that's kind of a really cool retro touch for somebody like me. Next to it, you have a 13.2-inch touchscreen, which, when you combine it with the other one, is all behind one large curved piece of glass for a really cool, seamless look to it. The graphics have been done by a company called Unreal Engine. Now, those are the same people that have done a number of different video games and the graphics in the 2023 GMC Hummer EV, which are really quite stunning. Here, they're just as good. They're clear, they're crisp. It looks like you're actually playing a video game when you're changing some of the aspects of the Mustang, like the steering feel or the different drive modes. It creates an actual animation in the screen that just looks fantastic. Now, there are a couple of interesting features about the 24's interior as well. First, there are no climate control buttons or radio buttons. There is a volume knob and a power knob, but everything else has been integrated into that touchscreen. Ford says that Gen Z and millennials are perfectly cool with that. Well, I guess we're going to see, aren't we? There are some interesting things up top. There are USB ports now in the overhead area. Now, the idea behind that is that you're going to attach things like track cameras and other stuff to the windshield, and instead of having the cord dangling down in front of that touchscreen, you can wind it up nice and tight, plug it in overhead, and it's out of the way. That's pretty cool. The other interesting thing in here is that, see that lever? That is a drift brake lever. Now, if you get the performance package, you can actually specify a special drift program. You push a button on the touchscreen and it turns on the drift program. You pull up on the lever, allowing you to do all kinds of drift pro maneuvers. And I'm sure we won't see all kinds of interesting videos on that a year and a half from now when Mustangs are leaving Cars and Coffee in drift mode. There's a number of different interior themes and colors as well. Cloth is going to be standard, but on this model, the GT, you get leather inserts. These are Recaro seats. They are optional when you specify the performance package. So what else is cool about the 24 Mustang? Well, you can actually start and rev the car from outside the car using just your key fob, which I gotta admit is pretty sweet. Now, we don't know pricing for the 24 Mustang yet. That's going to be coming closer to its on sale date, which is the summer of 2023. Now, we also don't know if this really is the last gas-powered Mustang. But you know what? If it is, I gotta say, Ford has really created something cool for the fans of fuel. If you'd like to know more about the 24 Mustang, you can look everything up at Cars.com.